Hey everyone, Laura Copal here. So I'm inside today instead of out in the garden because I wanted to share a couple things from one of the classes that I do called What the Expletive is Wrong with My Garden. So this class covers all kinds of garden problems, all kinds of troubleshooting, and it's probably one of the more important classes we offer just because all of us, if you have a garden, have some kind of problem that comes up. And I wanted to share a couple slides with you today. So I'm going to share my screen. So I'm recording Zoom style. And I wanted to talk to you about different types of problems and different things that affect your garden. So if we look at this picture, if you've seen me at all on Facebook or seen this class come up, you've probably seen this picture of this very sad tomato plant. And it's been really interesting because a lot of people have really wanted to be helpful and diagnose this problem because it looks awful, right? And tomatoes are one of the saddest plants in the garden to lose. So the winner or loser in this case, if you have it, is blight. And out of well over 200 responses, I think we're actually around 300 responses now. We've only had 3 people guess blight and diagnose it correctly. And so one of the big things that we cover in this class is how you really can't trust your friend's cat's first owner's great-grandfather's wife's neighbor, Carl. So one of these issues is that we get all of this conflicting information, and it's really hard to nail down and figure out what exactly it is that is correct so that we can properly treat our garden. And we get to this point, I think, and I've been there too, where something's going wrong, your garden is dying, you feel like you can't fix it, you go online, you do all of this research and you get a misdiagnosis or an unclear answer, or you treat it and nothing happens, so you figure out it's wrong. And that's one of the things that is the most irritating to gardeners. And so conversely, it's really hard to give and get solid advice. So when people try to give you advice, they're very well-meaning. Sometimes they will have already had the same problem. But in this particular circumstance, from one picture, it's really hard to diagnose an issue. You can't see the surrounding plants. You can't see the other parts of the same plant. You don't know if that same plant's been planted in the exact same spot for a number of years, if it could be a crop rotation issue. So there are a lot of factors that you just don't know. And one of the things we at Tulsa Vegetable Gardener do is try to create kind of a comprehensive plan to figure out exactly what's going on with the plant, so you just don't start throwing different products at it that can waste time, can waste money, and essentially kill your plant if they are not the correct product to take care of the problem. So the big takeaway from this is that you really have to utilize fact checking when you're doing all of this information. And by fact checking, I mean if you get some information from someone that says, hey, it looks like it might be a fungal disease, or hey, it looks like it might be bacterial, that's great, and you can take those tips and run with them a little bit. But what you want to do is do an internet search, start looking at the images, see if they fit exactly what it looks like the problem is with your plant, and then go to websites that end with an edu. The reason these sites are so helpful is because these are university-based information websites. So that means everything there has been essentially quality checked, and it's not someone's kind of anecdotal answer. Those are going to be your best sources to solve garden problems. You can also call somebody like us. We love doing these classes. We love helping gardeners. If you take one of these classes, you can also be added to our private Facebook group, where myself or a member of our team is on there daily answering any questions that people have, so they know that they're getting the correct answer the first time. And then there's 3 different things that can be going on with your garden. They fit into 3 different categories, I should say. The first one and the most common are going to be you'll have environmental issues. These could be things such as when you planted, where you planted, watering practices, maybe a neighbor sprayed some kind of a pesticide that you weren't aware of that could have affected your plants. The second one is an insect problem. So you want to see if there's any actual evidence of insect damage. Learn what that looks like, learn what chewing looks like, what scraping and rasping looks like. Educate yourself to the different types of damage so that you're not just jumping ahead and thinking it's a pest. And then finally, there are, such as in the case with these tomatoes, disease issues. Disease issues are far less common than environmental issues. So that should be kind of a last check, but it could very well be that. So go through all 3 of those. Over the next few days, I'm going to be adding some videos on each one of those portions so you can refer back. But I highly recommend, if this is new information to you, if you're really unclear of the different types of disease, different types of insect damage, this class is an hour long and it's filled with all of that information. So you can get it in one step. But these are all going to be really helpful. I hope that we can get your garden back to health if you're having problems and make you a more confident gardener going forward, because at the end of the day, that's what we strive for here. We want you to be able to take information, go into your own space, and feel empowered to create your dream garden. So check back in with us. We hope to see you all in a class sometime soon.